you guys, I wanted to turn this around. Where do I turn it around? Here it is. There we go. Look at this day. That is what you call a tanzanite sky. You see the purpley shades? It is so stunning and gorgeous today. I did work just a tiny little bit. And I, for one, am absolutely thrilled. Whoop, my big old foot in your way. Sorry about that. I'm thrilled that this is my day. Believe it or not, I don't get many of these. And when I looked outside and saw how incredible it is so cool. The air coming in off of the Gulf is like air conditioning blowing. I mean, it is lovely of a day as it can possibly get. So, what am I doing? Well, a couple of things, y'all. I'm I'm about to I'm about to go live on my computer, and we're going to talk about micro expressions. Um, so that's number one. We're going to talk about micro expressions, and then I was thinking about maybe doing a little bit related to Barry Morphew's upcoming case, but I haven't quite figured out what my video is going to be on the true crime information. Just gonna try to let y'all look at the boat and wish that we were all out on the boat together. He's moving so slow today. But I'll tell you what, this is a day to just put your feet up and move slow and do nothing. Do nothing. There's a high flying pelican. He's heading to the marsh. He's got to go see his children. So I'm gonna do the video where sorry, the next door neighbor people have a little girl over there, so I don't want to put her in the video. So I'm gonna do the video on micro expressions. I'll be out there in about it'll probably be up probably in an hour, maybe about an hour. And then later on this afternoon, I want to do something related to the true crime content. And I'm not sure if we're going to do Murdaugh or if we're going to do Barry Morphew, but I'll give that some thought, make a decision. What do you guys want to talk about? Give me some. It is so pretty, Marie. It is, boy, it is such a beautiful day. I honestly, often I talk about diamonds on the waves back. That's what I'm talking about. You see how can I, let me put my feet out of the way. You see how the water kind of sparkles like glitter? That's diamonds on the waves back. Andy Kopsa did some stuff. Oh, that is a great idea. Okay, yeah. It is so, Jenny, it is, I've never been so grateful to not have any work today. I did keep feeling like I felt pressure to put more people on my schedule today. I just had one person, and I kept feeling pressure to put a few more appointments. And I just kept thinking, I want some time off. I want some time off. So I kind of protected today from to give myself a day because I work Saturday and Sunday too. I work every day. So I had a meeting this morning and then I had one person, and I'm so glad now that I did that because it is gorgeous. Such a perfect day. Is that pretty? Any clouds there are just big white puffy cotton candy like clouds. Really, really pretty. Maybe a Morphew refresher. Yeah. Nothing about who? Just me. Morphew, or I'm assuming you're talking about John Matthias because of it, the work that Andy Copsa has done. Ooh, just me. I needed it. I am telling you, when I walk outside and I just feel just relief, yeah, I needed it because I'm a worker bee. I'm happiest when I'm working. So when I feel good about not working, it was time. So it was time. Is it hot there? Yeah, it could be hot. Let me explain what I mean by that. It could be hot. Like if you get in the car and drive up toward town, you just go 2 or 3 miles up the road. It's stifling hot, right? But we don't get that here because we get constant wind that comes off of the water. And today, that wind is very, very cool. It actually feels like air conditioning because it's the temperature of the wind coming off the water is so different than air the regular temperature, the ambient temperature. If you go to the front yard where there's no wind, it's pretty hot. So yeah, it is very good. And listen, during our big ice storm that we had about 5 years ago, it lasted for a whole week. We had like 300 people die because of frozen temperatures. Um, and during that week, you know what we ended up doing? So you can't see it here, but the whole front of my house is just multiple French doors. So I can open up all the French doors and then it's like our wall is open to the outside. And during that week of sub-zero frozen temperatures, we actually just opened up all of our French doors because the air that was coming off the water was warmer than the regular air coming from Canada. So that was one way that we were able to stay very, very, very comfortable during the day. Nighttime, whole different ball game. We had our ski clothes on, piled up in the bed. I had the dogs laying on top of me. Like we were not going to freeze to death, but we were not happy. Like it was very uncomfortable, and you we were without any electricity or anything for a week, and so all of the surrounding areas, like gas stations and stuff, they couldn't give you any gasoline because they were running out as well. So all of our generators ran out. Everything. It was really a seriously dangerous time for a place like Texas because we don't deal with that. If you're up in Colorado, that's just normal life. So you got everything you need to survive those kinds of temperatures. But bunch of rednecks down in Texas, we didn't know what to do. so so we opened our doors up and let the ocean air warm our house, which was a enormous blessing. So, but it was still cold. We were pretty chilly. Hot and humid where I'm at in the AC broke. No, Jenny, that's awful. Awful. Was 104 early on. A storm came through. Now it feels 96. Yeah, I think isn't there like a really bad um like dome of super hot air like right over the eastern seaboard? So you guys in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, y'all are much hotter than we are right now. We're not under that super hot air. It's so hot here that our sink cold water doesn't feel cool. Oh my God, Miss Lori, that's so bad. It's just awful. Yeah. Missouri's hot. Yeah, y'all may be getting the edge of that heat dome. Yeah, I'm down in Galveston County. So So we're pretty far south. But it may spread out to us. But right now today we got really really nice cool weather. The wind is cool. The temperature itself is pretty warm, but the wind is really really cool. So I'm I wouldn't go in that pool if I were you guys. The people next door to us are the worst B&B people, and the nightly cost of their property is like $1,200 a night. And they do have a swimming pool, but it stays gross and filthy the whole week. I'm talking about filthy. About 10 days ago, it was so green that we had herons that were landing in their swimming pool, thinking that it was a marsh. It was that bad. And now this family has rented it, and they rented it. They've got a whole bunch of kids with them, and they rented it to play in the pool all week. And they're furious, like they're so mad. So the people that own the property, they had a guy come out to clean it. But you know what? If they shock the pool today, those kids can't get in that pool today. So I don't know if they told them the truth about it or not. I told my husband to tell them if he talks to them. You know what else they do on their listing? On their listing, they have a dock in front of their house. In reality, they have no dock. Their property has no access to the water other than just to step over the bulkhead and be there at the water's edge. And on their Verbo listing and their B&B listing, they put this great big long gorgeous dock, and it's got a nice covered boathouse on it, and it's actually the dock and boathouse from a house that is 6 houses down from us. One of their listings, they had our dock, my dock, that that they were showing as part of their property. And they we kept having their people coming over and getting on our dock to fish. And my husband would go out there and say, "Listen, y'all, I'm not taking the liability for this. We are not insured for you guys to be out here. Y'all gonna have to get off. I'm sorry they lied in their listing, but this is not their dock." And in their listing, they had said that you could use any dock that was out here. We're all private. All these homes are private here. So all these docks you see were paid for and put in by private citizens, right? One of those docks cost around $60,000 to build. So anyway, we made a complaint to B&B and Verbo, and they were forced to correct it. You know how they corrected it? They flew a drone down, took video and photos of someone else's dock, and now that's in their listing. So these poor people show up for a week, a full July the 4th weekend. They have no swimming pool to get in because it's gross, and they don't have a dock to go fishing off of. I would be asking for my money back. And then the reality is, it's 4th of July weekend in Galveston. You're not going to find another place. So I feel really bad for them. Really, really bad for them. These people that rent next door to us, they have been reported to the police for light pollution. They've been reported for noise pollution. It has been a debacle ever since they showed up. Ever since they showed up, it's been a disaster. Yeah, right. I mean, like if you come where it looks like it's all individual houses and each individual house has its own dock, your good common sense says, "Oh, those are private docks," right? Well, that is not what's being told to these poor people that have rented this house. I feel so bad for them. I would not get in that pool after what it looked like last week. Ooh, so yucky. Terrible. Anyway, what are you going to do? Because you can't find another property on July the 4th, you know? Oh, I'm sure they'll be held to pay, just me. I'm sure there will be. So, okay, everybody. So I was just going to pop in, say hello, let you look at how pretty the ocean is today because it is absolutely gorgeous. I got a couple things that I want to do. I'm still in my work clothes, so I got to go change into my knocking around breeches, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about some true crime. Are there any basketball people in here? Any of you guys like the WNBA? My daughter just bought a house. It's still listed on Verbo from the previous owners. I would be mad. I know. I don't know, Jenny. How in the world do you make a listing and show photos knowing that people are going to show up and there's no dock? Like, how do you do that? It's crazy. Just crazy. You cannot, that pool, look, I'm going to show you something. You can barely see the bottom of that pool. And the guy has been over there. He's been over there for about 4 hours working on it. It was black with leaves. And like I said last week, it didn't have a bunch of leaves in it like it did today. It was literally green from algae and moss, like literally. And the birds thought that it was like marshy area. And then we had a lot of storms and stuff, and then so a lot of the leaves, blew off into it. They didn't have a single person come out and clean it. It hasn't. I don't think it's ever been shocked since they bought this place. I think they bought it a year ago. Um, I don't think they've ever had the water treated. I mean, it will be by Tuesday, it'll be just as green as it can be. So the guy's been over there cleaning and he got all the leaves and stuff out, but it's so cloudy, you cannot see the bottom. There's actually debris in the bottom and you can't hardly see it because it's so cloudy. And I don't know if the guy's an actual pool guy. Yeah, I don't see any chemicals anywhere. I don't know if he's a pool guy. I don't know if he's just a gardener that came to actually get the debris out, but the water itself hasn't been treated. It is disgusting. $1,200 a night. That's right. $1,200 a night, and you get a pool that is dangerous. I'm in Airbnb now. It wasn't super clean. I've been cleaning someone else's house for vacation. Oh my gosh, Cedar. Oh, I'm so sorry that you got caught in that. I did the whole B&B thing for a long time when it first came out. And I did have a lot of really great experiences. I'm not gonna lie. Stayed in some incredibly beautiful log cabins and like really, really nice. But I've learned if I'm gonna go just with a moderate priced property, I'm better off in a hotel. Though of course, if you're going to go and you're going to spend, let's say, $15,000 for a week, and what I mean is like buying like renting a log cabin where you can have 4 families there. And so we do that at Christmas, right? We'll rent a big log cabin up in the mountains. We'll have four, five, how many people? One, two, sometimes 4. If my brother and his family come, then it's 5. We'll have like 4 or 5 families come, everybody chips in, and then we pay this exorbitant price, 15, 17,000 for the week, right? But when everybody pays their part, then it's like 3,000. So in those situations, we have gotten some amazing property. But if I'm just traveling for work or I'm just going to go visit my daughter or whatever, instead of trying to do like a moderate, like keep the price down low, just a regular hotel price, the B&Bs are not worth it in my opinion. I think I would just rather rent me a Holiday Inn and then you get your room cleaned every day and you know, to me that's just my preference, but people need to keep their stuff clean. I wouldn't want to be liable. Yeah, exactly, Jenny. I'm telling you, I'm worried about that pool because they have got a boatload of babies. I mean, little kids. The thought of them getting in that pool, ugh, yuck, horrible, horrible. Can you see that teeny tiny little, I don't know what that is. It's a little black bird. It's a black bird that looks kind of like what an egret would look like, except it's black and its beak is more of like a bill. It's like a spoon bill. But he's got those long legs that like a flamingo or an egret would have. I don't know what it is. I need to look it up and see what it is. Up, he just flew. There he is. All right, so I'm going to be back. I agree about hotel with being better. Won't do this again. A C-seater, I get it. When you start trying to use B&Bs and you're trying to get like a low price, right? You got to be so careful that you don't end up in a, well, like the situation you're in, where it's not properly taken, maintained, and taken care of. Um, but like I said, when me and my family have gone in together for like a luxury house, we've been very fortunate and come up with some really great situations. But I'm kind of a hotel girl at this point in my life. So, yeah. It's a type of heron. Okay, thank you for the information. You, since you know birds, last, I don't remember if it was last week or remember if it was last week or yeah, maybe like the first of last week. It might have been 2 weeks ago. We actually had four magnificent frigates that were flying right above the house for a long time. And that was a very exciting sighting. So for those of you that know birds, that was very cool to see them. Their wingspans are 8 feet wide, and they rarely land. They spend the majority of their time flying. They can sleep while they're flying. They fly from Mexico up here to Texas and then back down. They can't get wet. They can't get in the water. They will either scoop down and pick up like a fish that's like on the top of the water. They'll either swoop down and pick up one with their talons, or listen how cool this is. They pester the seagulls and the pelicans. They bully them. And then the pelicans and seagulls get so upset that they upchuck, and then the frigates swoop down and get the food that the pelican lost as they were having an anxiety attack. It's easier to pay the price for a hotel room when I use my Marriott reward points. Exactly, Sketty. And that we learned the benefits of using points years ago when we were working over in Egypt. Once you start realizing those points, they're not pretend, they do add up. And then you realize, wow, I can stay for a whole week for the price of 3 nights. So using points is, I'm all about doing those points. It's a heron. They are all around us. I don't understand how people can get bored when the world is so incredible. Oh yeah, Sketty. Absolutely. That's one thing my husband and I talk about a lot since we moved here. We moved here because he likes to fish, right? And I wanted a place to put my rocking chair where I could sit and have a beautiful view while I was rocking. Um, we had no idea about the wildlife. Like, we had no idea. We spend so much time now just looking at all the critters. Day before yesterday, we had a possum running around out in the yard. So it's been a really fun place to live. You just kind of, you never know like what you're going to see when you come outside and sit on your porch. You don't ever know what's going to be out here. We have bald eagles in the area. Um, we have, of course, there's indigenous parrots that live here, and they're always up in our palm trees and stuff. Um, and they are loud and squawky. Um, White squirrel. We have a like a mink or some kind of little ferret or something that lives right down. You see where that hibiscus is? Right underneath that hibiscus is a hole, and so he comes in and out of that little hole, and he runs down to the water, and he'll swim around out there, and he'll fish and catch him some food, and then he'll scurry back up to his little hole. So he's been here several years. Um, we have night herons that are very cool because when you see the night herons on the security camera, they look like aliens. They look like they have those, elongated eyes. And when they walk, their eyes are so like just so smooth. They don't bob when they're walking. It's just very horizontal, smooth movement. So the what about the frigate? Uh, I don't think I've seen a frigate before, and I do know a few birds. Like, I was a bird watcher, it was perfect for only child type activity. Yeah, frigates are probably one of the absolute most interesting birds I've ever learned about. And it's not, you don't see them very often. You know what I mean? They usually, if they're not trying to feed, they're really really high altitude. Um, it is unusual to see four of them together. That was kind of an unusual thing. Um, but they are very cool birds. Their survival skills are really really unique and different than any other bird that there is. So that was pretty cool to see them. I'll post a picture. I've got some pictures of them. I'll post it on my community post so y'all can see. I'm from Australia. We have the most annoying, noisy birds. Philip, when these parrots come through, oh my God, cacophony is exactly the right word. They are so noisy. Not pleasant noises all the time either. They're squawky. My husband's talking to one of the people over there. All right. Well, okay. So let me go and get out of my work clothes. And I watch a lady who paints, and she always begins with feeding the birds. And y'all do have some amazing birds in Australia. Some very famous weird birds. Yeah, you do have some weird birds in Australia. Hmm. The dodo bird. Aren't they called dodo birds? And there is I want to show y'all this, but I don't want to get the people that are staying next door. I don't want to get them in the camera, so hold on. See right there? That is a fig tree. And it is loaded with figs. And so the birds have been very happy that figs have come in season. So they are eating the figs. Oh God, there's a drone in the pool. Tonight his skin is gonna be burned. When our neighborhood mockingbirds sound like crying babies, right, Mrs. America? What are you doing? I'm making a live, just so you know. Bill says hello to everybody. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, okay. All right. So I will post some photos of the frigates and then we will go live. Mrs. America says, "Sup, Bill?"
Hot.
Yeah, it's not that hot. The wind is so nice.
Go out there in the sun.
I don't want to go out in the sun and I don't want to go in the front yard.
It's cold off since early this morning.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm wearing this sweater and I'm perfectly comfortable. I know I do have thin blood. Skitty Nona said, "Hey, Bill." Jenny quilted just me. The flying foxes, thereabouts, and a fig tree on my street is always full of them. Man, they love the figs, Philip. They love them. Yep. If you're someone who likes to collect the figs and do stuff, did you? The birds have been all over them while I've been sitting here. Yeah. Yeah. Did you get those that were turning color over here? You like them raw? So bitter. I think they're bitter. Okay, people, I'm gonna go change out of my clothes and put on some knocking around junky clothes, and then we'll go live. Okay. Skitty Nona said, "Happy 4th of July, everybody." I hear a parrot. No, that's a mockingbird. That's not a parrot. It's a mockingbird. Was that a parrot? Yeah. It did sound like a parrot, didn't it? Yeah. I can't believe he's so close. I don't know why he wasn't afraid of me. All right. So I'll be back in just a little while. I'll be on my computer and we'll do some true crime stuff. Okay. All right, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful couple of hours until I return. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. And I'll keep you up to date on the trials and tribulations of B&Bs along the Texas Gulf Coast.